Hello, everybody. What's going on? My name is Martino Puccio here for the Mayo Media Network over from The Athletic, helping preview Euro 2020 matchup. This week, we're on to the quarterfinals. But before we preview some of the games for July 2nd, we just like to ask you guys to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell to get more updates when these videos are released so you can tune into them. So we'll get right into the matches first. We'll go into Switzerland versus Spain. These games are on July 2nd for the quarterfinals. We're getting deeper and deeper into this tournament. Spain and Switzerland played two of the craziest games of the tournament so far, where Spain went into extra time in an 8-goal thriller, beating Croatia 5-3, up 3-1 within the last 10 minutes. They allowed 2 goals to allow Croatia to get back into the game. They go into extra time. Switzerland knock off the favorites in France on penalties. Absolutely thrilling game as well. They were down 3-1. Also came back, tied it before it went to extra time, goes to penalties. They end up winning. Kylian Mbappe ends up missing the last one. Let's call it what it is now. This is a real difficult matchup to kind of draw up here. I don't think Spain has played particularly well. Yes, they've had 10 goals in the past couple games. Their defense has been exposed. Their finishing has been lackluster, but they've also faced some horrid defense. 2 howlers against Slovakia, terrible defense against Croatia, where someone falls onto the ground when they're defending somebody inside the penalty area. That's just inexcusable. You can't kind of bank on that when you get deeper into the tournament. So it's kind of hard to take that away. I don't think there's going to be too many goals, but when you have a team that's coming off 10 goals in 2 matches, and Switzerland scoring at least around 6 goals in their past 2 matches, the overs at 2.5 at even money. I really genuinely like that. You could pair that up with a winner to advance to the next round, whether it be Spain, whether it be Switzerland, whoever you feel comfortable with. It's a good choice going forward. I think Alvaro Morata has a little bit more confidence now that he finally gets on the score sheet in that match where he's receiving a lot of death threats and hate on the internet. It's something that alleviates him. There's a lot less pressure on his shoulders. So for me, why not kind of jump at something like that at plus 163? There's confidence boosted there. I kind of like that going into that one. For Sarabia as well, anytime goal scorers at plus 280 for Spain. I think he's been terrific. He's been at the right place at the right time on a consistent basis now throughout this tournament. And again, Switzerland won their first knockout match since the 1930s. So we're talking about pre-World War II here when we've seen Switzerland advance on a knockout stage round. Are they going to do that again? If you want to go off history like that, that's just a fun anecdote to know about. I'm not leaning towards a winner either way. It gets really difficult at this point. I just like some of these props and these totals here. So over 2.5 at even money. Alvaro Morata to score at any time, plus 163. Or you go with Sarabia for plus 280, anytime goal scorer. All right, for the second match of the day and the final one for this quarterfinal, we were supposed to have a star-studded matchup, and we hope we might. And Italy versus Belgium in this matchup, 3 p.m. Let's face it, Italy still has been the best team in this tournament. They've conceded once. Yes, they had a tough match against Austria, but they were still putting shots on goal during regulation. They just had a lack of clinical finishing. But the second the subs were made by Roberto Mancini, it was clear and obvious who has some of the best depth in this tournament, and that lies with Italy. Federico Chiesa coming off the bench scoring, a great player for Juventus. Secondly, Matteo Pessina, a player who hasn't really thrived yet on the club level, has come in and scored 2 goals in Italy's last 2 games. That's someone who has really been productive for them, and it's been massive. Yeah, they did concede for the first time in 12 matches, but that was off a corner and a lucky kind of hit, if you ask some people for that. So again, I don't really see them conceding too much. Obviously, the big story in all of this, though, is no Kevin De Bruyne, no Eden Hazard. For the most part, as we know, if they're even going to play in this match on Friday, they might not even be 100%. Hazard's looking more and more likely not to play. Kevin De Bruyne more likely not to play. And even if he does, he's not going to be 100% coming off the bench. We saw how Belgium struggled against Denmark prior to that happening. Romelu Lukaku going up against Giorgio Chiellini in this one as well. I just don't see that one going that well for him because he struggled against him in Serie A at times. And Giorgio Chiellini coming back from Italy is a huge component in that. So for me, I really genuinely like Italy to win this one in regulation. This is a plus 135 money line. It's still a good amount, a good price that you can go off of. I know I don't usually like going off on money lines, for these knockout games, but I really love the favorable matchup and direction this is going in for Italy, especially when the best midfielder in the world won't be there. I think Italy's midfield will control this match. I think there's a couple of odds again to look at as well. If you want to look at what Italy can do in terms of winning to nil, Italy a 1-0 win is at plus 700. Or if you think they're going to get 2 goals on them because that defense is a little aging for Belgium, 2-0 at plus 1400 for Italy. So again, I think Italy are the favorites in this one. I think they're the favorites for the rest of the tournament. I think they make it to the semifinals. If you want to go with anything else, Italy and parlay it with Spain or Switzerland advancing to the next round, that's something I would advise as well. But Italy is the one I like in this one. Guys, please comment on who you think is going to make the semifinals in general. Who will be the last 4 teams for Euro 2020? Other than that, I'm Martino Puccio. Best of luck with your bets.